Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. It's Jesse, and welcome back to a very, very special return trip for Outside the Blocks. I think our first ever? One in which we return to the most amazing Minecraft build I've ever seen. One of your favorite videos. I think one of the highest rated Outside the Blocks episodes we've ever done in the history of this show. We've returned to Minecraft Middle-earth, and I am really excited to be here. We're not going to waste any time. I'm just going to hand it over to these guys, and Thomas is here too. Yeah, I kind of promised him he could come. Oh, and if you do watch RPG Makers and know Thomas, you will also recognize Megawatts, our friend the turtle. And while we're at it, did anyone else notice we suddenly ended up at a furry convention? Like, one apparently led by Fidel Creepo, I guess? Smoking his cigar. Anyway, let's do this thing. I'm just going to hand it over to you guys.
I suppose I'll take over. This is Shoreblock. I'm the creator of the project. This was my thought child about a year ago. We're about 2 weeks away from our 1 year anniversary for the server. This is save about 2 people. This is the entire staff of our server, as far as the people who keep the people who come on the server organized and build things and everything else. This is what makes the server tick. I just figured I'd go through really quick and introduce everyone, and I'll also try to say what they do on the server as best I can. Starting over here on the left, we have Brother Alex, who is one of our editors, I believe. And he's an officer. I get that mixed up. Some people move ranks quite a lot. And then next to him we have Sinister Quinto, who's one of our foremen. They keep people organized. Keegan up there is well, I always forget Keegan.
He's Canadian, he doesn't matter.
Hey man. Okay. Keegan's an officer, and he's also the head of our art department. Up there just behind him is Bloodaxe, who is an officer. Impsor, just below him, who's a foreman, a really long-term member of the server. Amachius, who's one of our newer architects. Taylor next to him, who is officer. Then next to him we have Kames99, who is a foreman. Next to him is Jason, who is an officer. SMTG, who is an editor. Toast7312, who is a new foreman. Next to him is Irish Boy, who is a officer. And then the next row up is Bevster Rose, who is... What rank are you, Bev? Foreman. Okay, those are foreman. Then next to him is Omzit, who is random. Then we have Fox, who is an editor. Aeroblitz, who is an officer, and he's also our head of whitelisting. Megawatts, who is a king, and he's one of our tech people, and also runs our RP server, which is a work in progress currently. The Fro, who is a editor, and next to him is Mirmo, who's a king, and the head of foreman. Just behind him is Carlos Bear, who is our War Master and Tolkienologist. Next to him is Arachnel, who is also a king and one of our longer term running members of the server. Right next to Arachnel is Q220, who is the co-founder of the server. He's our tech guy. He runs the server box and everything else, and he's been with it since the very beginning. And then next to him is Homino, who is our head architect and also war master. And then next to him is Irfush, who is the head officer. And that's just about everybody. I suppose the first thing we're going to show you guys is Mel Delving, which is the largest town in the Shire. We've built that since you guys were here last. And I'm going to turn it over to SMTG, and she's going to show you guys the town and talk about it and
All right, let's do this thing.
Alright, so this is Mel Delving. It's the capital of the Shire. So we decided to make almost all the buildings here freestanding buildings with a grass roof or some new kind of hobbity architecture. And the kind of mountainous area that we're passing right now is the White Downs, or basically some chalky mountains at the west end of the Shire. A couple of shops here, a couple of larger houses near the front. And we're gonna get to the town hall, which is, basically the city hall of this town. It's the only government building in the Shire.
Now, you had mentioned this was one of the biggest towns in the Shire. What kind of lore information would fans of the series need to know about this place? Let's say they don't have a clue what this is.
Well, yeah, it's not really mentioned in that much of Lord of the Rings, aside from, the raising of the Shire when Saruman comes, after he's defeated Isengard, he comes to the Shire. So this is the town hall.
One of the other things you note up here is you can really see just how big this town is.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. And all of these houses are decorated on the inside by members of our server. So every single one is completely done with the kitchen, bedroom, all that stuff.
So it's a lot like the other towns in the Shire that you guys had done, where you went all out and you pretty much every building has a purpose according to, it's created for a reason. It's not just an outside, right?
Yeah, that's, every house could be used as a functional home. And we try to keep it, as accurate to lore as possible. So, for instance, in all the Shire homes, they all need to be 2 high and not any taller, because, hobbits kind of confined, cluttered, space.
I see what you mean by going down into the basement here. It's really confined and cramped. I walked down there and was like, wow, okay then. Also,
trapped in the basement with a bunch of animals.
Exactly. For people who haven't noticed yet, I'm sure they have though, if you look up in the corner of your screen, you will see a mini-map. And that mini-map should tell you how big this one town is. Because you can see all the houses on it, and the roads and stuff, so yeah. And they even have a mini-map in this thing! Alright, anyway.
Alright. This way.
Huh, look at this! Look at all the, post boxes and stuff going in all the different towns. That's great.
Yeah, these aren't even all the different towns in the Shire. There's a ton of...
Yeah, since you guys were on the server last and toured through the Shire, we've completely finished the Shire as far as the towns. Some of the terrain is still work in progress, but we've built about 18 or 19 more towns than you guys saw last time.
Yeah, the map file has grown a gigabyte since you guys were last here.
And that's just with work on the Shire? You guys didn't, I mean, what about other towns? I don't even know how to describe it. Like, that's just amazing to me. So you just focused on the Shire and added all those towns?
We've added large parts. We pretty much entirely added the Shire, which is a very large area of Eregion, and we've also went to the northern parts of Eregion and Middle Earth and we've built some of the cities of the old kingdom of Arnor, which you'll get to see a little bit later on. And we've also expanded past Moria now and started work on Lothlorien, which you will see near the end of the video. I think it's appropriate to say that you ain't seen nothing yet.
That's what they told me last time. And last time I was like, man, this is cool. And then at the end I was like, I'm speechless. I don't even know what to say.
So, we have a lot of members who come and build on our server, of course. And since they don't have access to the /give tool, we created a sort of system so they could get colored wool by themselves, basically.
How does that work?
Magic.
He was unlocking the door system where only one person's supposed to be in there at once.
It's mine now. Shall I go out so you can have a look, Jesse?
That would be kind of nice.
There you go. I'm trapped. There we go.
The button is on what now?
It's on the other side.
What do I do?
Basically, any lever that's up, you'll receive that color. Any lever that's down, you won't.
Press once.
Okay.
I pressed once, nothing happened.
Now walk out the door.
Walk out the door.
Let's go out.
Oh, that's awesome. Look at him. Oh, that's totally cool.
Mine.
We're going to Took Bank where the Tooks live. The arguably richest of the hobbits. They all live in the same place and interbreed, just like real rich people.
I lost you.
Ha.
We know
That's
who the
why I'm
rich
poor.
people in this chat are then. The ones who took
Me?
offense.
It's to note that all this terrain in here is not really natural. We create all the terrain to match our requirements and get this as more specific as possible. So we pretty much start off with we clear out everything and start off with flat slate, and then we build everything from the hills to the grass and the trees.
Now, how long does something like that take? In fact, who's involved with that? Because I know it's not just you guys. There has to be other people who are part of the process of building the server. So once you clear an area and you're like, well, this is going to be Hobbit Schlobbitville, what do you guys do then? What's the process that happens?
Well, our general thing with the server is what we do is we always have people wanting to get on and wanting to be a part of the server. So when someone joins the server and gets whitelisted and comes on, they tend to work under one of our foremen, who I introduced earlier. The foreman and other ranks will organize them and get them working on things like this, and so a lot of work goes into things just like building hills and whatnot. And it's not always, people who get on the server expect to hop right in and be building like part of Minas Tirith or like Barad-dûr or some big huge build, and it'd be exciting. But really the sad reality of it is we spend a lot of time making hills and roads and rivers and ridiculous amounts of time making rivers, and we basically it eventually just evolves into these big huge areas, and we have all these we have everything from mountains to entire downs and rivers and little streams and other geographic things that we just build up over time, and it takes large amounts of time. It takes us weeks, months. We have some stuff. The Shire, I mean, really the Shire is the first thing we started working on, so everything that you see is a product of a year's labor, pretty much. Just, I mean, it might not have taken us an entire year to build these things, but just the entire Shire has taken a very, very long time.
Now, is this an accurate... I know last time I was here, it was... The big talk was that it's, you know, it's such and such to such and such a scale, like 1 to 3, 1 to 2, 1 to 4. Are the locations still as accurate as possible, or are they... Like, well, we heard about this one city, but they didn't really go into it in the book, but we figured we'd build it anyway. What's the setup?
Still pretty accurate to 1-to-1. We pretty much know what would encompass a town like Mel Delving, although there aren't explicitly maps, and in fact most towns aren't explicitly laid out, but you can pretty much still figure it, and pretty much is still 1-to-1. You know, it's just us using our imaginations. The Great Smials was just a big great smile. I'm just joking. That's stupid. Shut up. God, thoughts in my head. Was a big old mansion where a bunch of rich hobbits lived. And
Inbred.
And what? Haha, I'm back.
They were all inbred.
Yes, and they were all inbred. And it was basically, this was the only hobbit mansion, basically. And it was where generations and generations of hobbits lived. And the great, what's its name? What's that called? The chief of the Shire? The Thane, yes. The Taint lived in the Great Smiles. And stuff, basically, yeah. It's just a big old mansion where a bunch of hobbits inbred and lived in a mansion, and the leader of the Shire, the unofficial head, who answered to the King of Arnor, but after Arnor fell, basically answered to no one, lived here as well. And during the during the battle for the Shire, I believe it was here where that makeshift dungeon was made, no? Somebody correct me on that.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, made a makeshift dungeon. The Thane of the Shire became corrupt and started working alongside, well, sort of working alongside Saruman, and being a jerk and throwing people in prison and stuff, and that's where he lived. And eventually, as you may know, Peregrine Took became the Thane of the Shire after the rest of the hobbits returned to Valinor. In tradition, in succession of his great grandfather, the Big Took, the Bull Roar, they called him, because he was big and fat. And being tall in Hobbit society is kind of a big deal. But it is a giant maze, but yeah.
So he's like Jabba the Hutt.
It's supposed to be compared, Peregrine Took compared it to Fangorn Forest.
How
very similar feeling to
far
that.
And deep does that go into the side of the mountain? Because that seemed like it went on forever. I just lucked out and came out the entrance. I don't even know how, but I just walked out the entrance and I was... How big is that?
But it's got several... it's got...
It goes
really,
really far back.
It's a very, very large structure.
It's actually pretty... It's a small mountain, essentially. Homie got locked out.
So I assume these stacks of bricks
mansion.
are not stacks of bricks, but in fact, they are fireplaces.
Fireplaces.
Yeah.
There's actually an exit
chimneys
all the way at the back.
If you go up the hill, the chimneys can actually give you a pretty decent idea of how big this thing is and how far it spans, because the chimneys continue all along the hill.
The kitchen in the Great Smiles is really cool too. It really looks like a kitchen, like a modern kitchen, but it looks like a kitchen nonetheless.
But with this scene, I suppose we'll continue on and work our way north into Arnor and get to what I'm sure everyone wants to see, which is the big cities that we've been working on. I'll be guiding you through this part, Jesse.
Okay.
To Annuminas, and now that we've came up the river from along the Brandywine River, this river to your right here is the Brandywine, which flows all the way south from its starting place up here on Lake Evendom, all the way south through the Shire, and it flows into the sea, and it goes for hundreds of miles. We're still working on the Brandywine. It's absurd how large it is. It's really hard to just describe how large the river is without seeing a map of our server.
I have a question about this. In the distance, there's a giant black wall. What is that?
That's one of our free build areas. Basically,
yeah, that's an area where we were building ruins for things.
All right, I was just curious. I saw
to test things out before we put them on the map.
All right, I saw a big black wall and was like, "Oh, what is behind there?" But it's nothing.
What is?
Right, if we continue along this pathway along the side of the cliff, we'll come to Lake Evendom, which you can see up ahead.
Sure, if I can just interrupt, I think the Brandywine was took 4 months to build.
Yeah, that's probably about right. Digging south of the Shire, the Brandywine took about that long. And I believe they finally got it finished. But you're coming up here. This is Lake Evendom, and here, as we come around the corner, is the city of Annuminas, the capital of Arnor.
We finished digging it 2 days ago. I led the last bit of it. Brandywine.
This lake is very hard to get a judge of how big it is, just because of Minecraft's view distance. But this lake it carries on for quite some ways up to the north. It is a very, very large lake. This, just as all the other cities was, it's completely built over the course of however long it took us. I don't even remember. It's been months. And everything is rather practical. Has interiors. Carlos, seriously, I can't walk. I think I've lost Jesse.
I'm just
Oh, shit,
exploring.
he's
You didn't
lost
lose
in the
me.
city.
I'm
There's
just
a
looking
staircase
around.
over here.
Okay. If you want to, we'll head out across the bridge out to the keep. This is the city's keep, and it also served as a temple, I believe. There's not a lot of detail on it, but we did as much speculation as we could and tried to make it as lore accurate as possible.
There is a second floor, though.
Yeah, there is. You can go up steps to the second floor, and you can see out across the lake.
There's a really nice view of the lake.
And someone's changed it to nighttime.
Looks good though.
Looks a great deal better at night.
I like that lighthouse in the distance and the lake. That's pretty awesome. I didn't even notice that on the way in, and I guess that's the way we came in at. That's awesome.
Yes, it is.
Well, when you're looking out that window, we came in from the left. Yeah.
Right, there was one right above us. I didn't even see it. I saw the waterfall. I saw the lake. Didn't see that giant tower up there.
The next thing we're going to go to is the docks and Annuminas was the capital of Arnor, and through Annuminas, Arnor fielded the largest naval force of any nation in Middle Earth for a very, very long time, and they would send ships from Annuminas down the Brandywine to the sea. Much of that changed after the fall of Arnor. But what you're kind of seeing now is almost a look into the past of Middle Earth. During the time period that the Lord of the Rings films take place, and the books, this city was in ruins, and Arnor was pretty much utterly destroyed by the Witch King. But our method of building is essentially that now that we're nearing completion of the city, it's pretty much in its final state now. But we're to a point where what we do, and you will get to see this when we view Austin Edhill later, is that we build cities and other structures in pristine condition and then destroy them past that to make them more realistic looking.
So, after all this work, and what I can only consider to be an amazing city, you're just going to come back and be like, destroy it!
Yes, we're going to make it look degraded. It's not like we're going to just nuke the entire thing. But yeah, for lore's accuracy, we have to destroy it since the city was in ruin.
Although we do plan on saving a copy of it somewhere, so...
Yes, we're one of the things we're working on, and I don't really have time to go into a lot of detail about it, but we're planning on getting an RP server up and running, which we'll take a lot more liberties on the RP server just for the fun of it. And among having other nations and different things like that, Arnor will be one of them, and Annuminas will be in its pristine state on that server, so it will be saved. But on the build server where we're going for war accuracy, it will be destroyed.
Yeah, I think we're beta testing the RP sometime this month or next month. That gives you some idea.
Planar tower. Now we're one of the planar that Annuminas held was kept.
The Palantir.
Palantir.
Yeah, with that, it's basically the tower that one of the orbs that, just like the one that Sauron looked through, and Gandalf was like, no, don't look through that, and they had that fight. That was one of those. This was during the time that the Numenorians had owned them all, and they used them in different towers throughout Middle-earth to see what was going on, to keep evil at bay and so forth.
Yeah, so you can climb the stairs here in the middle, and this is the highest point in the city. You can take the little steps and get up to the windows.
Look at that! Look how big this place is! And you're just gonna destroy it. You guys are sick. Sick individuals.
Yeah, it will be fun to destroy. We get to like come in here and just break things. You know that's the funnest part.
You know, turn on TNT, just go crazy.
This is the High Court of the Faithful. I figured we'd show you this. This is the like the government structure and where people would be tried for crimes and things like that.
I recognize this scene, actually. Hold on. Let me reenact it for you. Alright, we're going to reenact this scene from the movie. Toast 7312, are you a muggle? I know you are.
This was built before that movie came out.
This is the same series, right? Right, with Harry Potter and the no?
Harry Potter and the Lord of the Rings. Sounds good enough.
Harry Potter and the One Ring.
An odd mashup. This is the Shrine of the Kings up here on the hill. Inside is recorded all the history of the kings of men. Yes, and Irofish, as Irofish puts it, this took forever to do. It took a very
Yeah, how
very
did you
long
get
time.
this information? Was it like in the appendices or something?
It's all in the books from the histories of Middle Earth and the Silmarillion and such books. It's all there if you can fight through it.
Yeah, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, if you ever want to read a history book that has nothing to do with real history, that's the book you read.
Yes, people think there are 3 Lord of the Rings books. In actuality, there's, I think, 18.
There are actually... Let me think.
As Jay just pushes me
There's
off
more
the
than one
stairs.
floor as well, Jesse. There's stairs in the middle.
Really?
Are you kidding
Who
me?
did the top floor?
Oh yes, on the top floor there's something very...
There is a 12-volume series called The History of Middle-earth, by Tolkien's son, which makes it about 18. Yeah, I think you're about right.
There's
Wow.
the unfinished tales as well.
Wow, that's I don't even know if that's wrong or right.
Look in the chests.
That's pretty funny.
Yes, the creators after it.
Yeah, weren't now my real life legends might be wrong here, but weren't they friends? Didn't they like write the books and talk to each other about their books?
Yes, actually.
Who?
C.S. Lewis and...
Lewis and Tolkien.
Yeah,
Tolkien.
Treebird's supposed to be loosely based off C.S. Lewis. C.S. Lewis's character.
Yeah, I remember reading somewhere that they would send each other like parts of their books and get like reviews from each other about what they thought, or something along those lines.
Yeah, they were really good friends in reality. And that's the basis of that up in the top, basically. This is the royal palace of Annuminas.
Look at that.
Let's go down into it.
Oh wow, the architecture on this is really cool. The way you did the arches and the windows and stuff. Bravo.
We'll keep it daytime. So you can see that. And then this is the actual palace, which is still under construction. The biggest thing that's holding us up with the palace is that we're trying to get it correct. Irfush and his team are working on it. But the biggest thing that's holding us up with it is the height limit, which has unfortunately restricted us from finishing it. So if Notch watches your videos, then Notch, please increase the height limit.
I've already threatened to fight
It's
Notch
gonna-
in a street fight in order to increase the height limit. Thomas will vouch for me. I threatened to. I
yeah.
told him
No,
to
no,
meet me in the street and I'd fight him. And if I win, he has to increase the height limit. I've already thrown
No,
down
you
the
have to play
gauntlet.
the game in Quake.
It's gonna be heightened. He has said it, but he hasn't said what release of the game yet. But he said that is gonna be an option. But since it's so like demanding to increase it, yeah. But he's doing it.
The one thing I really enjoy is this is the first time on this server I've actually seen you guys. I don't know if you set this up. I just realized this might be set up to like be like, oh look, it's under construction, so we built it this way. Or this is actually how you build. I'm not sure which. But that'd be amazing if you guys build scaffolding to move stuff around. But then I realized like, oh, that's probably just for show.
Actually, when we first started working on the server, before we had, before I knew jack squat about anything and didn't have a bunch of people to help me, we actually did do things like build scaffolding and crazy stuff like that because we couldn't fly or anything of that nature. So we did actually build things like this. Now it's just what it is we've built this as a placeholder until the height limit gets increased. To basically just to make it look right.
Here's a funny story though, and this may just be me, but isn't this whole thing going to be destroyed anyway? So can't you just leave a giant hole? Like, not to say that it's, you know, not a wonderful work of art, but isn't that the whole point, that you're going to destroy it eventually anyway? So do you really need to complete this?
Well, we try to carry through with our work.
Yeah, I was just going to say that I think it would be nice to actually see a finished product, so you can look back and say, hey, I did all this, it looks great, I'm going to take a whole bunch of pictures for keepsake and then destroy it, because I hate it that much because it took so long.
That's the other part of it, is that we also need to finish it for the other server that will have the finished product on it, and this will actually be a functional. Because on the RP server, this will actually be where the king of Arnor, who rules over the Arnorian faction, is, and where his throne and where his doings will be inside the palace. So it will need to be finished and furnished.
And what's cool is you can actually climb that scaffolding all the way to the top.
Yeah, I saw you guys doing that.
I was looking for that way.
And then you can see all the hills that surround Annuminas.
Alrighty, well, with that scene, that's it for Annuminas. And we will work our way to Fornost, which is another city of Arnor. And I believe it's actually, I forget what it, is it more economically powerful than Annuminas was the thing about Fornost. It was essentially like the economic center of the north.
Yeah.
There's also a fortress. It's a defensive position, which they had to give up.
Alright, so right ahead of us are the Gates of Fornost, which are otherwise known as the Gates of Nober. Some little lore behind Fornost is that it became the capital after Annuminas was deserted by the population, as it was in strong economical power because of its location at the edge of the North Downs, right near Bree, so it had easy access to trade goods around there. And, it was largely a fortress, because of the location near Angmar, so it was a major foe against Angmar. This was largely built by Anadolaf and Brother Alex.
You'll have to forgive Jay, he records from Chuck E. Cheese.
Yes, my van's parked outside of Chuck E. Cheese right now. I'm recording. So, pardon me.
That sounds way creepier than
Give him
we
some
thought.
candy, that'll create it quiet in the
But yeah, we consider Anadolaf the god of the server for architecture, which is what he is.
Is this very close to bedrock level?
It is exactly above that.
Yeah.
Right now, what we're sitting at right now is... Oh yeah, those are fucking huge.
So how did you manage to like make it look natural, bringing this whole area down to bedrock level?
Voxel will.
There's a big distance between Fornost and any other major town, so you can really slowly like lower the terrain, and it's really hard to notice if you walk along the road.
Yeah, to be precisely, it's about 100 Dunedain miles. So, Tolkien never mentions how far that is, but...
Yeah, because it's the problem we encounter pretty often in the RPG makers, is how to lower an area so we can build up high.
Yeah, we just solved the problems with sheer manpower and hundreds of hours of building terrain.
Yeah.
So yeah, Jesse,
which
just follow
we
me this
don't have, yeah.
We got absurd amounts of work done after your last video, because we got flooded with so many people. We went from having like 6 or 7 people on at a given point, like on top of our staff, to having like 80 to 90 people on at a given time. And we got so much stuff done. It was really ridiculous.
So yeah, what we're coming out to here is part of the upper section of Fornost. This would be where some royalty would live. Right now, it's the admins.
So it's where I
there's-
live.
Oh yes, you will definitely have your own house here. I think this is mostly designed by Brother Alex and of course SEAL Team 6, which is Iru's personal build.
Oh, SEAL Team 6.
Yeah, it's worth noting that when walking around here and looking at all this stuff, that this town is, or this city is extremely work in progress. It's probably, I don't know, Brother Alex, you'd probably be able to say what percentage it is finished.
Probably about 30.
This is
Despite all the
30%,
big
huh?
architecture. Yeah, that's about
Yeah.
how much we've got done.
Well, as Shorvok said before, we go through and build it all once and then change it so it's perfect.
Yeah, so right up here, this is the royal section of the Fornost. We have the archives and headquarters of the military up here, and the royal palace for the king.
I remember digging under this wall when I was on the server once. And I found I found a chess table on the other side.
So yeah, this.
Oh, we have
God.
a battleship over there now as well. We have chess and battleship set up.
The minimap is like mesmerizing me right now. Like, if you stand right in the center of this building, the minimap makes it look... It's just amazing, that top-down view. Like, how just weirdly symmetrical it all is. It's disturbingly perfect, I think is what I'm saying. And I'm both jealous and freaked out at the same time.
Yeah, we're all kind of symmetry-centric.
OCD.
Yeah,
Is the correct
we try
term.
to make everything perfect. That's basically the staff is the people who are on our staff are our staff for a reason. They're all like really good at building, and they're all really good at just being perfectionist and trying to get everything right and as war specific as possible. Again, we take a lot of liberties in a lot of regards because Tolkien just didn't give us the information on some stuff, but anything that we have the data for, we will use it and try to make it as accurate as possible.
Okay. Alright, so the region we're in right now is called Eregion, and it used to be inhabited largely by the elves, and it's actually quite close to the entrance of Moria. But the city we're coming upon now is called Ossenedhill. And this is actually where the Rings of Power were made.
Look at this place. This is... I love how you guys built it in into the cliff. That's very cool.
Yeah, this was built entirely by a guy named Andalaf. Just one guy. And funny thing about it is we have been communicating on the forums for a while, and we started talking about finishing off Eregion and what we were going to do with Ossenedhill. So we started sharing a few pictures, and I told Andalaf to go ahead and build it, and within a week he had totally finished it.
Yeah, this is the same person who built Freeport in Minecraft.
Built what?
Freeport from EverQuest. He that video got quite a lot of attention. I don't know if you've seen it. He rebuilt Freeport from EverQuest. He's a big member of our server. His name's
He's really good.
Yeah, he's quite the architect. It was actually built completely pristine, at first.
Oh, then you guys came in here and destroyed it again. After that poor guy's hard work.
This is the ruining of how I hate to kind of steal the glory of the homie here, it was built pristine and then ruined down. Annuminas will share a similar fate eventually, but Ossenedhill was in ruins for about 1,600 years, by the time of by the time of the Lord of the Rings. Homie can carry on.
Yeah, I don't know if there's a ton more you can say about this place. I mean, it really speaks for itself.
Where were the
And
rings
it's another
forged?
It's another spot where it is perfectly symmetrical north to south.
Oh, I like this
perfectly
area with the
mirrored.
tree and stuff, and like the, I don't know what you would call this, the wannabe Stonehenge, but not.
The furry wolf on the tree.
This is actually where the forges were originally.
Ooh, and Sauron corrupted the rings of power by forging the other ring, because he was like, I want a ring too. And so he got a ring.
Was this where
And
all
he's a
the rings were
vampire.
made, or was it
One,
Yeah, all but one.
just the
two,
elven ones?
three rings of
Sauron
power.
actually lived here for a while, I believe, as well, didn't he?
Wasn't there more than 3 rings?
Shut up.
Or-
I'm not going
or
to count that high, stupid.
Okay, so my name is Fox. I'm going to be guiding you through the parts east of Moria. Where we are now is the East Gate, so in your previous video you ended at the end of Moria. This would be where you come out. Alright, so we're going to walk out here. Those of you who've read the book will know that immediately east of Moria is a giant, very deep lake known as the Mirror, named after a mirror because of its reflective properties. So that's a little north of here. We'll walk there.
I think I found it.
So, according to lore, Moria was created by one of the first dwarves ever. He looked into this lake and saw a crown of stars form over his head in his reflection, and decided to make himself king of Moria and build Moria. Moria was originally called Khazad-dûm. Moria actually means something like the Long Dark. It was named that after the dwarves were all gone.
Is all this grass hand placed?
Yep.
Using
Sure
bone
is.
meal
Bullshit.
for the most part. Then we had people
No.
go back and take out all the yellow flowers.
Yeah.
Death
I
for
don't
the yellow
believe.
flower.
Yellow flowers are the end.
No one would have the
So-
patience.
So
People
this
have the
river, correct me if I'm wrong. This is the Sindarin River. What's it called?
The
Oh,
Nile.
Syrian.
Sirion, I think. Or, yeah, homie's right.
Yeah, Sirion. I think you're right. The Silverlode.
No,
Yeah,
Sirenon's
that's
on
it.
the other side.
Oh, I'm
Yeah,
thinking of
it is the Silverlode.
Pronounce.
So anyway, the Silverlode flows from just south of the lake. It actually comes from a spring, according to the Atlas, anyway. And that flows into Lothlorien, which is where we're headed. Picks up a couple little tributaries on the way.
And you
Basically,
should
if you
be
look at
able
the
to
flowers,
tell that it's... Yeah, it
Especially
goes
the
from blue
flowers.
to white.
Ah, I see it. Yeah, so the flowers just changed. So that's the texture pack switching. So if I move back, it'll go back to blue. Oh, look at that.
Yep.
Whoop. Oh, that's cool. All right, cool.
So this allows us to take a lot more liberties and make Lothlorien way more accurate. It's basically what you just did. We can explain lore-wise as kind of an aura of the forest. The forest is actually protected by Galadriel, who wields the ring, one of the elvish rings of power, not corrupted by Sauron. And I do not recall what the name of it is, but it allowed her to keep the forest intact and free of corruption for a long time. And so we decided to add change the texture pack to allow us to convey that.
Yeah, and I think we debated that change for about 2 weeks. We hated the fact that we'd have to make players switch texture packs just to go into a new area.
How'd you do that? Did you like set up a circular area where it changes? So if you go in another area, it will change as well?
That's a
Yeah,
trade
one of
secret,
our
man.
community members just basically made a mod loader mod that just switches it when you cross that point.
Yeah, but
Or
is
when
it
you
a
enter-
specific point or is it a set area? Like
There's
when you
It's a
cross.
giant rectangle around Lothlorien.
Yeah, there's a giant rectangle around it, basically.
Okay.
Alright, so Jesse, up ahead you should be seeing the beginnings of the forest.
I
You'll
am.
notice the most
I see
major
woolen
factor
trees.
is that trees are made of with golden leaves rather than green leaves as you're accustomed to. This is because Lothlorien is known as the Golden Wood. The trees here have golden leaves in the fall, anyway. We'll get to the Malorn trees later, which are enormous, and that's the major feature of the forest.
So, like, if you look at your mini map, you can see the different color
Yeah, I
walls.
see it right now. We're in the white area, about to go into the red. Yeah, I see that. That's hilarious.
What is it
So that-
supposed to be?
It's
'Cause I don't
a
have the
golden leaf
texture
texture.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then each different color of wool has a different, like, hue of orange. So you get a lot
And
more
you made the texture
depth.
pack yourself?
Most of the texture pack work was done by SMTG, who guided us through Mel Delving earlier.
Yeah, hi, all the new textures for Lothlorien here. I mean, a lot of them are textures that we took from the regular Minecraft Middle-earth pack and edited them slightly to be a little bit more elvish, while others, like, you know, the golden leaves and such, are completely redone.
Yeah, one thing about the path here is the elves wouldn't have laid any stone. They would have known their way through, but we thought that'd be a little too intense for new players coming to the server, so we wanted some way to guide them through.
Alright, so this is the Nimrodel River. In the book, the hobbits and the Fellowship forded this river on their own. They hadn't yet met up with any elves, other than the elves that they brought with them. So the Nimrodel River has a lot of lore surrounding it. It was named after something pretty specific. I'm not going to go into it because it's rather specific, but Nimrodel is pretty important. So if you come this way to this large tree here, this is the first Malorn of the forest. You'll notice the bark is slightly different. This is the silver bark of the Malorn tree. These guys are quite enormous. This first tree, in the book, the Fellowship first encountered the elves at this first tree. It's kind of an outpost. You can climb up in the top. In the top, there's a wooden platform, which the elves called flets. They lived in the trees. So they spent the first night in Lothlorien, in top of this tree.
And actually, from the top of the tree, you can actually see the difference between the different colored leaves in the forest.
Yeah, it's green, red, and white. Wow. This is a large forest.
Yeah, keep in mind the forest is hand done. It's not.
Yeah, you must have done it handmade because of the wool.
This is a ridiculously huge.
Sort of
Like
inside.
I can't even.
This is just the tip of it, too.
Like, this reminds me
Just the
of
tip.
in the previous video the wheat that you guys placed. It's just like that. Like, why would you do this? Like, we can use our I can use my imagination and be like, man, that's a big forest, but you just went and did it.
The sad thing is this blows the wheat fields out of proportion. The wheat fields is like I don't know, 20,000 wheat, I think, and this is tens of thousands of trees.
And you didn't use any like voxel sniper or what did you use to make
It's not
this?
possible.
We
About
yeah,
80
we can't
Drew.
use
Voxel sniper.
for this. What we did was we used
We had people
voxel
basically
for-
just run through planting trees, and then we just replaced the leaves with a different colored wool. But all
Yeah.
of the trees are hand
Yeah,
planted,
that works.
except the big ones, which were completely
and the trees are
hand-built.
actually planted in a special format to get them the right size.
Yeah. They're a bit taller than your normal trees in Minecraft.
We had these fun little teams running, and what would happen is one team would put down like a a dirt block or like a couple dirt blocks, and then someone would plant a sapling, and then someone would bone meal it, and then someone would come back and take out the dirt blocks from under it, and then place logs, and then another team would come back afterwards and replace the leaves with wool. And it was just a whole big system.
How long did you use on this?
So, Jesse, as they're
The
talking,
trees
if you
alone,
could
I think, took a
continue
week
east.
or so.
How long did you use on this forest?
I think it was about a week.
I assume
we are in
torches, candles. Yeah, that means that we're in the heart of the forest now.
Yeah, exactly. So this is the part of the forest known as the nave, which is the part between two large rivers that go through the forest. On the nave is where you'll find Malorn trees plenty, and that's where the elves live. So on the left, follow this path to where the path diverges, and we'll take a left. But on the left, you're seeing now the hill of Saren Amaroth. Originally, the hill was a watchtower to watch Mirkwood in the west, or in the east, northeast, because that was where Sauron had a fortress. But at some point, it became the House of the King, and then the king fled into the west, or not fled, but he returned to the west. That's what the elves do. And it was left as just a nice house. It's still the house of the king, whose name is Amaroth, but the king doesn't live there anymore. So we built this primarily using voxel, but a major portion of it is hand placed.
How'd you place those torches?
That's a voxel tool we took advantage of. Okay. So you'll see ropes hanging down holding these torches. The ropes are made from webs. That's a retexturization that we really like.
Spider web.
So this hill is perfectly circular. On the outside of the hill, there's a ring of leafless white trees. That's straight from the book. And on the inside of the hill, there's a cluster of Malorn trees. And Malorn trees have a home in them, which is where we'll go now. So this is an individual flet, or talon, as the elves would call it. This would house the elves. They'd have, they live here. This is just one of a couple that we have in this tree. So this will give you the best view of the forest. This is the top of the forest. This is the, I guess the biggest completed part of the forest that you can see. This is just, 4 trees? We have under construction now, the Caras Galadhon is a major city of the elves. That's the one that was visited in the movie. And that's just east of here. And that is going to be like this times about 50.
I can't even
Lots
imagine.
Of interconnect.
Like I can see it. It's kind of in the distance there, starting to form. I can't even imagine.
That's actually something we forgot to move before we got you on the server. That's just a platform we were building things that would be moved.
Okay, never mind then. That is nothing. That is nothing.
This
This is a dream. Anyway, guys, that's it. That's our return to Middle Earth. As you can see in the background, the forest below, and then something over there that may or may not exist. Don't look that direction. And a big thank you to the staff, the admin, the lambus bread throwing, melted Master Chief over there. I'm not sure what that is. And all the furries who came out to help us today. But especially a thank you to all the builders and everyone else who has been involved with this server. It is seriously like one of the best servers out there. No doubt. No doubt in my mind. It's amazing, and I cannot wait to come back. And that's our plan. We're gonna come back again and see some more stuff here in a couple of months or something. Don't spam me daily and be like, "Why did you go back? It's been 4 days." It's heartbreaking. Yes, I know this server is amazing, but like these guys need time to build, right? So if you want me to come back sooner, maybe you could go and help them. And I guess I'll ask you guys, how does someone come and help you?
The easiest way to get to be a part of the project is to go to our website and go through the steps of applying. I suppose you can leave in your description on how to go this. We could probably say to help you out with something in the description on how to do it. But just follow a link to our website and go through the steps to apply and wait for your application to get processed. Probably going to take a little bit longer with the influx of people, but we're at minecraftmiddlewaters.com, and pretty much if you're interested in the project, you can become a part of it. We're not very discriminate about who we take on.
All right, there you go. You have like a million different things popping up on your screen right now that if you 1080p'd this, you can see that. I'll put stuff in the description. Again, thank you to everyone involved, everyone who came out today, even Thomas. And I guess that's it. We'll see you guys next time. If you think you have a world that is equally awesome, or even like a 10th of the awesome level, send an email, send a message to jesse.outsidetheblogs@gmail.com, and maybe next time I will come to your world. Anyway, guys, that's it. Thanks for watching, and as always, to be continued.
To be continued. Yay!
Thanks, Thomas.
Yay!